Hi there, it's Alexandra from the Middlesized Garden YouTube channel and blog, and I'm here at the Abbey Physic Community Garden in Faversham to find out 5 recipes for DIY fertilizers which will be organic, they'll save you money, they're easy to do, and we can all do them. These fertilizers are environmentally friendly and wildlife friendly, and one of the things about environmentally friendly tips is it's not just about minimising the use of the Earth's resources, but it also does save you money because obviously you're using less of everything. The Abbey Physic Community Garden provides therapy and skills training in horticulture for people isolated by mental or physical issues, social or economic disadvantage, and it's also for the community in general. There's art and craft training, there's horticulture training, as a men's shed and a community kitchen, a happy cafe, so people can learn how to cook what they grow. The gardening's environmentally friendly and wildlife friendly and done therefore on a very tight budget. So the tips I'm passing on should save you money. And they're easy to do. With so many people involved in a community garden, things that are tricky to do or require a lot of expertise really aren't practical. The first fertiliser is a liquid fertiliser made of well-rotted manure. When you get your well-rotted manure from the farm or from the garden centre, get out a bucket and put 3/4 full of manure and about 1/4 full of water, and then leave it. Drain that off, put the manure on the beds, you haven't wasted it at all, and then use that as a concentrated liquid fertiliser. You'll need to dilute it about 1 to 5 and then you add it to plants. If you can grow comfrey or if you can find nettles on the roadside, both of these also make a very good fertiliser tea, and it is as simple as simply cutting off about a bucketful of leaves and throwing them into a water butt like this. Now the only problem is that as the leaves rot down they can block up the tap of the butt. So one of the tips from the Abbey Physic Community Garden is to stuff your bucket of comfrey leaves or nettle leaves into a pair of tights and soak the tights with the comfrey leaves in the water butt. It'll be 2 to 4 weeks basically until it stops smelling. Then you've got a liquid that you can use, and take the tights out, cut them up and throw the comfrey on the compost heap. Comfrey or nettle tea should look about the colour of weak tea, so if it looks too strong, dilute it with water until you've more or less got a very weak cup of coffee or tea without milk or sugar look. Plants that are very hungry get extra treatment in this garden, like these tromboncino squashes. This tromboncino squash has been brought up with lasagna gardening. Now lasagna gardening is something you can do for a whole bed, or you can just do it around a few plants. Ideally you'd start with a piece of upside down turf, or you might use grass clippings. Then you add some cardboard, some leaf mould, some compost from your garden, and just layer it until the top layer is compost, so you can't actually see it, just looks like earth. This will slowly rot down. It's like a mini compost heap. It'll slowly rot down to feed the plant around it. I think this would probably be very good for roses because they are quite hungry plants. Lasagna gardening is hugely helpful for people who have quite difficult soils, like a heavy clay soil that really doesn't drain well, or possibly a very light and sandy soil that gets very hungry. And it is huge help when we're having a hot summer because actually it also helps prevent water from evaporating from the surface of the soil. If you or a friend is having a lawn laid and there are some pieces of turf left over, you can make some wonderfully fertile topsoil out of this. Simply leave the upturned turf turned upside down in a pile and let it all rot down until the grass disappears, and you'll have something that is so rich and nourishing to put on your beds. And leaf litter is also extremely useful on beds. You don't have to rot it down completely. Gather up your leaves at the end of the autumn, put them in a bag, possibly in chicken wire, in a heap, in a pile. Make sure they're really wet. and just let them rot down a bit. When it comes to spring, use that as a mulch on your vegetable patch. Use it on the mulch around roses, anywhere you want to mulch. It really does help to retain moisture in the soil. It helps to shred leaves when you're composting them down quickly. So if you've got a lot of leaves in your lawn, run the lawnmower across it and then you'll have some nicely chopped up leaves. Just keep them in a pile, make sure they're moist, make sure the air gets to them. In spring, they won't be fully decomposed, but you can still use them as a fabulous leaf litter mulch. There are links to the Abbey Physic Community Garden in the description below. And if you've enjoyed this, please do hit like, because then I'll know you'd like more environmentally friendly and budget friendly tips for your garden. And if you want your garden to look gorgeous, but you don't want to spend too much time or money on it because you're busy and you have other things to do, then subscribe to the Middlesized Garden YouTube channel for tips, ideas, inspiration and easy ways of doing things. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.